This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
The 2026 Milan Cortina Olympics this winter, brought to you on KUAM TV8 by Bank of Hawaii. Reach your possible. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at Matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
On KUAM News Primetime.
Governor Lou Leon Guerrero is taking the podium for the last time, addressing the legislature and the public tonight for her final State of the Island address. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with a look from the Guam Congress building.
And the search for a 22-year-old man at Tangisan Beach continues. I'm Jonagan Charfus with more on the search efforts.
A fiscal warning from Adelup citing double appropriations has met immediate pushback, with one senator discouraging the administration from victimizing government finances and spreading misinformation. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the details tonight. Hafiday and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for ending your day with us. Tonight, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero's final State of the Island address is underway at the Guam Congress building at this hour. Many are anticipating what picture she will paint of Guam's current state and her remaining priorities for the last 11 months left in her 8-year term in office. Mitsuki Hirayama brings us a look from the People's House.
The anticipation is high for tonight, as for the last time, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero will be taking the podium for her final State of the Island address. Now, on our way over here, we did see Guam Police, the Guam Fire Department, Guam SWAT officers doing a sweep of the building, really tightening up security, as this will be a highly anticipated event. This is her last address before the Guam legislature and the public, as she closes out her 8-year term in office in the coming 11 months. Now, last year, the governor said Guam is good, but we will not stop until it is better. Now, many people are looking forward to her address tonight, as she talks about and portrays her plan for Guam in those remaining months this year. Now, Adelup says that the governor's address tonight will not be shy about the truth, and that by the time the governor leaves the podium, positions will be clear, the record will be set, and it will stand. And no doubt the GOP majority will be listening very closely, as the Democratic administration this year was the first time working with a Republican-led majority in the legislature. And that year has been fraught with disagreements from everything from the new hospital to the business privilege tax rollback and to government finances. Now, immediately following her speech, we will bring you a live reaction from the Guam Congress building. For now, you can tune in to KUAM TV 11, where we are live streaming her State of the Island address. For now, I'm Mitsuki Hirayama reporting for KUAM News in Hagåtña.
Great job, Suki. And ahead of the governor's State of the Island address, KUAM getting the pulse of the community, asking some of you about the issues that matter most and what you would grade the state of the island.
As an island resident, what would you say the state of the island is? KUAM posing this question to community members as Governor Lou Leon Guerrero is set to deliver her final State of the Island address at the Guam Congress building Wednesday night. For attorney Roger Krauthamel, he gives the island's current condition a less than glowing review.
The island is down and going down.
He says he's eager to hear the governor address bolstering tourism and the economy.
Well, we basically have 8,500 hotel rooms and low occupancy. Retail is down. Tourist arrivals are very down. People are hurting because they don't have any tourist jobs.
As for this Maritza resident and new father, he simply wants to know what's being done to drive down the cost of things like utilities, groceries, gas, housing, and more.
Making living here a little bit more affordable for locals and anybody who calls it home, really, but for locals for sure.
And for this Maina native, she says she'll be listening closely for these key issues.
Yes, I like the hospital. Trash, especially the recycled That has not come around for us in Maina for over a year. And so, what's the point, right? Putting out your trash can and then you don't. The other thing is the roads. I mean, I see improvement in some of the roads, but in other areas, it's so bad.
It's these issues and more that these residents say matter most to them as they wait to see how the governor will carry out the rest of her term. And as Guam gears up to elect new leadership, residents say they are eager to see meaningful action behind promises made on the campaign trail.
A budget dispute is continuing to unfold in the final hours leading up to the governor's State of the Island address, with the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration calling out senators for appropriating the same dollars twice and driving Guam's finances toward a deficit. Nevaeh Anderson reports.
On Tuesday, ahead of Governor Leon Guerrero's State of the Island address, her office released a pointed statement addressing Guam's financial position, claiming senators have been appropriating funds the government no longer has and warning it could lead to a deficit. Following a review by the Department of Administration and the Bureau of Budget and Management Research, officials determined no general fund balance from fiscal year 2024 was available to carry into fiscal year 2025. BBMR also advised agencies that as of December 2025, the estimated general fund balance was a negative $13.98 million, meaning the government lacks sufficient available cash to support new obligations. According to Adelup, the confusion comes from agencies underspending. On paper, unspent appropriations can appear as surplus funds, but the administration says when lawmakers reappropriate those dollars and agencies later attempt to use their original funding, the government ends up overcommitting, spending the same dollar twice, which, quote, inevitably leads to deficits. The governor's office added, quote, the government cannot spend money it does not have, regardless of how budget language is written. The people of Guam expect essential services to be funded sustainably. Committee on Finance and Government Operations Chair Senator Christopher Duenas responded to the release, going as far as to suggest that the release itself may not even be legitimate, writing it, quote, may be indicative of a cybersecurity breach of their system. Duenas clarified that lawmakers are not using unspent agency money to fund other government obligations, but are appropriating tax revenues collected above projections. Duenas says the numbers from fiscal year 24 and 25 are based on consolidated revenue and expenditure reports produced by BBMR, and notes government budgets have grown after higher than expected collections in recent fiscal years, allowing for prior year revenues to be carried over. Duenas adding, quote, the governor has repeatedly flouted her superior fiscal management as the basis for these repeated surpluses. It is incredibly unlikely that her office would suddenly seek to sabotage her legacy by suddenly informing the public that the fiscal reality was not balanced at all, that all of their fiscal notes relative to excess revenue appropriations were actually false, and that their own CRER was grossly inaccurate. He ended his response by encouraging Adelup to deliver on their mandated requirement to produce accurate audited financials so the people and government finances are not, quote, victimized by misinformation. The dispute leads into tonight's gubernatorial address, where lawmakers, agency directors, and the people watching at home will be listening closely for how the administration sets up and justifies their remaining fiscal moves of their tenure. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Get double the speed at zero extra cost with GTA Fiber. Experience super fast and reliable fiber internet speeds, now starting at 200 Mbps to 1 gig, with upload speeds just as fast as download speeds and 100 times faster than cable internet. You can enjoy lag-free gaming and clear video calls. Fast is also affordable. Sign up for Fiber 200 for only $70 a month. Visit gta.net or call 644-4482.
It's a new year, Guam, so let's start with the reset at Kmart. Make your move and start strong. Gear up with fitness equipment and fresh workout apparel. Fuel with wellness essentials, sugar-free options, protein, vitamins, and more. Organize and clear the clutter with easy storage solutions and cleaning essentials. And refresh your living space with new furniture and decor for your home. New year, new me. Your reset starts at Kmart Guam.
Welcome to the world, Mila. A world where you'll feel loved and cared for. Just by your family, but by your extended family, your community. That's the power of relationships. At Bank of Hawaii, we've believed in that power to build better lives for our customers and communities for over 125 years. So when you need people who will look out for you, look to us. Because with the right relationship,
anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. A search for a missing swimmer continues after a 911 call of a distressed individual near Tengisin Beach in Dededo Tuesday evening. Jonah Ginchafaris has the story.
Guam Fire Department spokesperson Captain Nick Garrido says a 911 call came in at around 6:28 p.m. Tuesday.
Our units were deployed then, along with the U.S. Coast Guard, Guam Police Department, and the HSC-25, where they conducted water searches and land searches right behind the former GPA power plant in the Tengisin area.
The search continued throughout the evening with drones, with the search continuing at first light.
Our GFD assets continued back out to the area. Currently, we have the GPD vessel out there, the GFD vessel, along with 2 rescue watercrafts and the United States Coast Guard.
Garrido says based on information provided, they're looking for a 22-year-old male individual who was swimming with a group and was pulled out due to the current water conditions.
Based on the information from the United States Coast Guard, the drift is going south, and we are conducting our area of operation in the last known area, as well as following the water surge and the drift.
As the search for the young man continues, Garrido reminds the community to remain vigilant.
Along with also heed to the hazardous surf and seas, the advisories that are currently in effect. We currently are on a high surf advisory. We are also on a high risk of rip currents, as well as a small craft advisory. Given the situation and the weather, please heed to the warnings, and also as mentioned, and we previously stated before, if you are uncomfortable, you are unsure, please stay away from the water. Please stay away from certain types of activity that could contribute to any type of incident like this.
Jonah Ginchafaris, KUAM News.
Thanks, Joan. In other news, a suspect wanted in connection with the armed robbery reported at the Guam Premier Outlet's parking lot on February 6 is now in custody. According to Guam Police Department spokesperson Norman Analista, at 10:31 a.m. Investigations Division, along with officers from the Special Operations Division and Guam Highway Patrol Division, located 31-year-old J-Boy Elias. Police say acting on a tip, officers conducted a check at a residence in Dededo where Elias was found and taken into custody without incident. As we previously reported, 34-year-old Jimmy Moses Hadley and 27-year-old Justin Willie were arrested on February 7th for their alleged roles in the robbery. They both have cash bails at $100K. Authorities say more information will be released as it becomes available. And the retrial of Rudy Fagurger Kinata in the killing of former Humatak Mayor Daniel Sanchez is moving forward after years of delay. Kinata appeared in Superior Court on Tuesday via Zoom before Judge Vernon Perez from the Department of Corrections. His 2022 conviction was over turned after the Supreme Court of Guam ordered a new trial, citing concerns over juror misconduct while upholding the sufficiency of the evidence. Judge Perez set jury selection for February 26 at 9 a.m., with a contested motions hearing scheduled for February 23rd at 4 p.m. to resolve evidentiary issues involving prosecution witnesses. The court said final rulings on those matters are expected shortly before jury selection begins.
Now for a look at your world at home.
We're at the island's southernmost tip in Malesu, where the boat landing dock is giving you a beautiful view off on the horizon of Cocos Island.
I think it's time for some new shoes.
Hey Kara, how much money is in my account?
This is your remaining balance.
Kara, I forgot my password. Again. Could you help me out?
I've sent you steps to reset your password.
Thanks, Kara.
Honey, quick bank stop before the beach.
Sounds good, hon.
Kara, how do I get a loan?
I've provided a link with your loan options.
Thanks, Kara.
Thanks, Kara.
You see this all white meat chicken, breaded in tortilla chips? Here at Taco Bell, we're calling them, wait for it, nuggets. They're nothing like classic nugs, but you're just gonna have to accept that. I mean, we could have called them anything, really, like Derek. No backstory, just Derek. But nuggets is already baked into everyone's memories, and so is Hidden Valley Ranch, obviously. And we mixed it with Diablo.
Diabolical.
Crispy chicken nuggets from Taco Bell, a brand new classic.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase, but if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it. Couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Now, for a limited time, get our largest pizza at our lowest price. Just $9.99 for our classic New York-style pizza. It's 30% larger than our large, and at only $9.99 for carryout. Don't wait. Order now at your Island Pizza Hut.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas. Leading with integrity and influence is the topic of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce's latest meeting. So make sure to get your tickets, make sure to go down, and make sure to avail of the networking opportunities. Good panel this month. We'll see you down there. All right, we have sports events for you. The K-pop dance contest. Remember, dance is a sport in interscholastics now. Year 2 coming up in the 4th quarter. But this weekend at both the Micronesia Mall and GPO, the Korean Association of Guam is having these wonderful celebration of fashion, art, and dance. It is absolutely wonderful. Can't wait to see that. All right, golf fundraiser is coming up. If you want to go down to CCP, Country Club of the Pacific, and play a wonderful time out on links and really help a really wonderful organization, that's the My Fair Lady Committee, make sure to get your tickets in either for doubles or singles. And Winter Olympics is really going strong. We have slalom, we have figure skating, we have hockey's coming up, right? I'm super excited to see that. Make sure to check it out because alpine skiing men's Super G is coming up real fast. Go Team USA and go birthdays, because that's now. Happy birthday to Boon Makshad, otherwise known as Joseph Kunick. Enjoy a very happy, blessed birthday coming from the Mac clan. And Major Eric Tumali over at the Salvation Army Guam chapter. Happiest of birthdays to you, Major Eric. We are wishing you a blessed day coming from your family, your friends, and the advisory board, which of course includes KUAM alumni Senator Chris Barnett and our very own Jonah Goncharfas, who really love serving alongside with you. Major Eric, you do so much good for the community, and we wish you a very wonderful birthday. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your Primetime Show. Thanks for watching. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
Hafa-day, I'm Jonah Goncharfas. Behind the walls of the Department of Corrections, the stories of women in custody rarely make headlines, and neither do the conditions they're living in. But for the officers assigned to safeguard them, the concerns are growing louder, more urgent, and impossible to ignore. Tonight on The Hub, we look at the state of Guam's women's facility. This is Inside the Walls, Stories of Guam's Women's Prison. I walked into the Department of Corrections Women's Facility one morning, and before I could even ask a question, Major Mary Helen Lozama and Sergeant Kathy Cruz met me with concerns they've been carrying for years. Their first issue, Sergeant Cruz says, is basic supplies.
They're appreciative of the items that we purchase for them. You know, we have them, they stretch it as far as they can, but, you know, it can only go so far. Toilet tissue can only go so far, you know? Yeah. You cannot wash it and recycle it and reuse it. Once you use it, that's it, you know? But they're appreciative. Some of them can't afford for their family to donate to the unit. That's why it is our responsibility, the department, to provide the basic necessities, you know, and it's hard. I mean, even to get things fixed around here, sometimes I have to reach in my pocket and purchase it myself. Light bulb, plumbing supplies, sinks, you know, a washer. I bought a washer because we didn't have a working washer. My detail's out there hand washing the clothes, and that's tiring, and I only have one laundry detail, so I went and purchased a washer, you know. I mean, it was damaged, it had a dent in it, so I got it for like $400.
Still a lot of money.
You know, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, but I too care about these ladies that come in. You know, we have to treat them like human beings. We cannot just put them here and throw away the key and forget about them. We have to treat them with respect. In order for them to respect us, we have to respect them as well.
And not only that, she cannot get reimbursed for what she spent from the government, because some kind of law that says they cannot reimburse them for what they spent. So, you know, I told them just to keep the receipt and claim it for tax. You know, when tax comes, let them know that you spend this for your employment, you know, because they weren't able to provide. So it's possible they may get a tax break on that, or deduction or whatever. Because that's costly. An officer or a manager could spend about $3,000, $4,000 a year on just personal hygiene, cleaning supplies, or materials. It could be more than that. And they cannot even get a reimbursement because of some law, regardless if they provide a receipt. So where's the fairness? Where's the justice in that?
I've received donation from our project director, Ms. Nedado, Sarah Nedado. She has donated personal hygiene as well, out of her own pocket.
Yeah. Like I said, it has to be constant. You know, every week, it's a weekly distribution of supplies. So people are probably wondering, how is it that they use up all of this? Imagine yourself, your own household, how many times you buy toilet tissue or hygiene just for you and your family. So imagine the population or the employees as well. You have to add in the employees as well, because they have to wash their hands, you know, use the restrooms. So of course you're gonna have to also provide for them and the visitors that come in here. The attorneys use it, the volunteers, religious volunteers that come in, they have to use the restroom too. So our restroom has to have toilet tissue and soap, hand soap. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. We could process like 1,000 visitors in a week. That's how many visitors are coming by. It doesn't really show, but that's how much are checking in and out. For religious service, delivering of incoming, outgoing items or whatever. The visitors, the attorney visits, probation officers, law enforcement officers, everyone coming in and out of here. They're constantly using the restroom, checking in, checking out. Of course, you're unique. This department is like the last of the criminal justice system. That's the reason why all the other law enforcement agencies are coming here, to include the federals, the marshals, and other law enforcement, or even immigration. They come here as well.
For officers here, shortages at the women's facility are nothing new. But one issue hits even harder: the generator. Major Lazama says it's been down since Typhoon Mawar 3 years ago.
It's like a red tape just to get it done. Some kind of red tape that we're going through for just a generator. That's a life safety thing that we have to have. It's like all these fire sprinklers system, it's supposed to work. Everything has to work.
So then at night, the power. Would you like me to show you?
It's black. It's pitch black.
Our emergency lights don't even work. This is what I provide. Two of these. I have a charger, and we have a flashlight. But this is all we have. You know, and it's very, you know, they need to think about our safety too. You know, we have a family to go home to.
And that's out of pocket.
This is to keep my officers safe too. Not just the prisoners, but my officers, because when it's dark, it's dark.
It's like a disaster area, you know, where you have to survive. Like what Sarge Cruz just told you, the generators don't work. We need generators for the light to automatically turn on and the AC unit.
And the locking mechanism.
Correct.
Without the generator, we have to go and manually lock every single, there's 11 cells here, there's 16 cells here. We have to go manually lock them. You know, and we gotta move fast. You know, because we never know what they're gonna do.
Lizama says the strain goes beyond infrastructure, with the women's unit now housing a mix of adjudicated inmates, pre-trial detainees, GPD arrestees, federal holds, and immigration detainees. Rehabilitation has taken a back seat.
I'm talking about our agency here. It shouldn't be like this. We were not handling the pre-trial detainees. So that's why we have problems. We cannot focus on our rehabilitation efforts towards the adjudicated inmates because we have all of the classification areas. We have GPD, we have pre-trial detainees, we have the federal detainees, and we have the immigration detainees.
And while the women behind the bars need support, the women guarding them say the dangers they face are often invisible to the public.
You're carrying all this equipment on your body. 8 hours is a long time to carry all that extra weight. They're carrying probably about 20 pounds on their body. But to be active, to be alert, to be focused, you need all of that when you're performing your duties here. You have to be, but if you're working 12 hours, of course your body's you're losing already your energy by the time 8 hours is done. Okay, number two, you're not having enough time for your health and your family. That's why I say 8-hour shift is very good for the law enforcement officers. We need 8 hours so we can go to school, spend time with our family, me time. That's what we need for our mental, our mental health and our physical health. But because we've been on this 12-hour shift, we also acquired a lot of health problems. Look at the working environment. Nobody can see it because, oh, that's just a jail. Yeah, it's a jail, but it also affects our health. You know, rare that you see anyone say, thank you for your service, you know. Rare that you see that. Because all they know is that the prisoners are coming here, but who's watching them? What kind of environment are we in? Does anyone care? I don't think so.
We do
because
care.
If they really do care, we're gonna get a brand new facility, just like that. There's gonna be no red tape. There's gonna be no delay for supplies if they really care.
They look at Department of Correction as the lowest law enforcement here, but we should be up there because we're the ones taking care of these prisoners, these criminals. Okay, they're not here because they're good. They made a mistake. Now they're here. This is their punishment. Being here, right? But we still treat them with respect. And that's why I do what I do. My officers, they fork out money out of their pocket because in order for them to respect us, we also have to respect them as a human being and provide the necessities they need to get up in the morning, you know? Oh, I have a toothbrush, I have toothpaste. You know, these are the things that nobody thinks about. And we're always the last ones. We're the lowest one getting clothing allowance. Imagine that, how much a shirt is. You know, we're only getting $250. And how about the other law enforcement? Don't we mean something to the people of Guam? You know, shouldn't we be up there with GPD? GPD picks up the criminals, but we have to deal with them.
Correct.
When they come in here belligerent, assaultive, you know, they're cussing at us. My officers here got assaulted the other day. They don't even think about that. They don't think that our job is important, but we are. We are. No matter what, you know, we go through as a department, I'll stand behind the department and say, yes, we do our job.
For the women who keep this facility running, the message is clear. They show up, they serve, and they sacrifice, whether anyone sees it or not. Up next, I speak with one of the women who is currently serving time.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
The sausage egg biscuit is perfect.
Now it comes with hot honey sauce.
I stand corrected.
A cell door closes and the world outside keeps moving for the women incarcerated here. Each day is a test of dignity, patience, and survival. After hearing from officers tasked with maintaining order, we now shift our focus to those living within. Who are they beyond the charges? Meet Amor Balbin. 45-year-old Amor Balbin is serving a 15-year sentence for manslaughter. As of this interview, she has spent 12 of those years incarcerated. Her days follow a routine few on the outside ever see.
Basically, we wake up for Reveille, do our in-house chores, and then get ready for work detail. So in our classification, we are assigned work details. And then basically that's our Monday to Saturdays, and then Sundays are rest days.
Routine provides structure, but survival here often depends on more than schedules. Officers previously told us they sometimes use their own money to cover basic needs, like hygiene items, when supplies fall short. Balbin confirms that reality.
Yes, our officers, they really cover down when we don't have anything. They really, out of their pockets, help us. And yeah, I think that's how we manage, because they cover that gap.
But even basic conditions can become daily challenges. Lighting, power, safety. Balbin says recent outages have left parts of the facility in darkness, forcing officers to rely on personal flashlights to do their jobs.
I guess it's the generator. It used to be okay when we had the generator, but now we are basically in the dark. The officers also provide their own flashlights, so they're prepared for it. But sometimes they're not all here with their flashlights, so the ones that do have will cover down a certain wing, and some spots will be dark.
When it comes to dignity and treatment, Balbin says respect inside these walls is not guaranteed, but neither is disrespect constant.
It's inconsistent. I guess everybody has their day, so everybody gets disrespected, and we also get the same in return, respect and disrespect.
Rehabilitation is meant to prepare inmates for life beyond these walls, but Balbin says access to the programs, education, and support is often inconsistent and unpredictable.
Right now it's very inconsistent. I really feel like we need some consistency, because even education-wise, there's always like a long break. I know it's not the department's fault. We need volunteers and also funding, right? There's so many things going on that we don't really know, but for me, I think personally that's affecting it. I feel like we need more programs and more stability.
But the heaviest weight of the incarceration, she says, is not the schedule or the walls. It's the emotional toll of separation.
It's the separation from our loved ones, the no contact, trying to rebuild that relationship that we've just being in here. Personally, I've lost a lot, and it took a while for me to start accepting and I'm already at that point where I have accepted, but that was the hardest.
Balvin does not deny responsibility for her crime. She says accountability and self-reflection have shaped who she is today.
I know I've broken the law. I know that what I did was wrong. I am doing my time, and I've learned to accept that people do make mistakes, and from the programs and the structure that they've given us in here, I've learned a lot of things about myself that I never knew, and I've learned to accept and forgive. You know, I've gone through a lot too, so now I don't blame anybody for anything but myself. I've accepted responsibility. I'm taking responsibility.
And if the people of Guam could hear just one message from her, she says it would be this.
We are not defined where we're at, our shirt that we're wearing, and the other side that we're at. So, you know, everybody else is on the other side of the fence. We're here on the other side. It doesn't define us. We're still someone's child, someone's mother. We're still human beings, and not everybody's bad, you know. We're still human. We deserve a second chance.
Behind every sentence is a story. Behind every uniform, a human being. Inside these walls, the world may feel distant, but the hope for dignity, accountability, and a second chance remains. And still ahead, beyond the buildings and the challenges, there's another side to the story. We take you inside the programs aimed at helping women rebuild their lives, from education to counseling and skills that prepare them for life after incarceration. How these efforts are giving hope, purpose, and a path forward when the Hub continues.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
With just 5 social workers serving more than 460 inmates at the Manila compound and 59 women at the Women's Correctional Facility, the Department of Corrections is operating at about 1/3 capacity without clerical or administrative support. For Teresa Tayama, Casework and Counseling Services Division Administrator for DOC for the past 11 years, she says the challenge is immense, but the need is even greater.
9.9% of our females here are dealing with trauma that has been not addressed or unmet. And so as a result of the minus any treatment or follow through during those years, their actions have led to their imprisonment here at the facility.
Teresa Tayama, Casework and Counseling Services Division Administrator for the Department of Corrections, says the majority of women incarcerated at the facility have experienced abuse, neglect, or violence, trauma that often goes untreated until it becomes a crisis. When asked whether current programs and resources are enough, she says the answer is clear.
I believe that the services that we offer is insufficient, only because in talking with the trauma-based or the reasons for trauma, that it has not been addressed. That is more so a mental health, something that can be dealt with behavioral, with Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness to address those mental health issues as it ties into their criminality. Many of those needs have not been addressed prior to them coming in, and so I believe that is something that we can work on.
Tayama says in 2022, Governor Lulian Guerrero signed a memorandum of agreement that allowed staff from the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center into DOC to assist in providing services.
That has really relieved tremendous load off the casework and counseling services division, because that has allowed for Guam Behavioral Health to be more program specific to address their needs. So they have the personnel and the capacity to provide those kind of services to our females.
But even with that support, Tayama says rehabilitation doesn't end at the prison gate. For these women to successfully re-enter the community, she says something else must change.
What they need is for the public's perception to change. Many of the females here have a bad rap, because when we learn of something that where a woman had committed an offense and is serving time, we always say, oh, what did she do? But we need to rephrase that and say, instead of, oh, what did she do? We need to ask, what happened to her? What led her down this path to her incarceration? And I think when I look at, as we do our intakes, conduct our assessments, it's really so sad I think this is why I have, with the teams that we have, 2 of our social workers, our senior officers, have been here for over 25 years plus. And fortunately, we were able to, thank you, Director, we were able to hire 3 more social workers. And the thing about that, when we find out what kind of reward do we get from it, is really just wanting to be a part of the bigger picture.
She says true rehabilitation requires empathy and an understanding of the circumstances that brought these women here in the first place.
I wish that the community would be more empathetic and understanding of the behavior or the underlying need that caused the behavior and allowed them to get here. Some of those issues would be abandonment, neglect, domestic violence, and other such categories of neglect and abuse that they had undergone that brought them here.
Tayama says her hope is simple, that DOC receives the support it needs to do the work effectively and to give these women a real chance at a different future.
When they are out there, we can do our best to try to transition, but it's very difficult for them to get one leg up and an advantage when they have so much that they have to overcome as far as getting through or getting over the judgments that is placed on them. I always look at it as if an individual is sentenced to do time here in prison, as sanctioned or sentenced by a court of law, and they have met that punishment, that the clock should reset and they should be given a fair chance and an opportunity. So that's my take on that. And another thing that I feel is you can always judge the priorities or the standard of a community by the priorities they place on the most vulnerable. So for us, we look at that as our sick, those who are infirm, like the hospital, those who are in prison, like DOC, and then those young individuals that are in school, we are obligated to educate them for our future. And the way that we treat and prioritize those vulnerable populations tells us where we are and where we stand as a community.
She adds that she hopes DOC gets the support that they need,
so that we can be as effective and prepare our clients to have a successful re-entry into the community, and that we go by our major goal to reduce recidivism.
Next, I speak with the Director of Corrections, Fred Bordallo Jr., opening up about the realities inside Guam's correctional facility for the women. What does he say about the aging conditions, and how is he responding to the concerns raised by officers who work there every day? His response and what comes next for the women and staff next.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase. But if it happens, cheap thing. The VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying, it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all Jeep things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a Jeep thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Jeep things. Making a Jeep vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a Jeep thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a Jeep thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a Jeep thing. So we're bringing you more Jeep things this year, because Jeep things should be everyone's thing.
Questions about conditions, safety, and resources at Guam's Women's Correctional Facility have been raised by those women inside the walls. In this interview, the Department of Corrections Director addresses those concerns and what comes next. Department of Corrections Director Fred Bordallo Jr. said he's fully aware of the concerns and frustrations being voiced by corrections officers, including the issue of basic necessities.
With the issue of the hygiene products, and this just doesn't apply for the women inmates that are here, it applies to even for the men, because we have to supply a whole, we always have to keep that supply consistent and smooth in terms of its delivery. So we're budgeted for that, and we procure that. But sometimes there's some delays.
Bordallo says there are broader challenges, particularly at the women's facility.
The women especially, and it's unusual too because here in Manila, this women facility is not only for sentenced women inmates that have been adjudicated, but they're all here thrown in together with a pretrial detainee woman.
Another concern raised the generator, which has been down since Typhoon Mawar.
Right after Mawar, there was a damage assessment, and I believe we're trying to get a claim for the generators, but FEMA has their own standards, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and we tried to get a claim on whether the generator could be included in that. There's a lot of red tape and paperwork and documentation that was needed, whether they could be included in terms of reimbursement to the government of Guam if we're purchasing generators.
He made it clear where responsibility lies.
I, as the director, always take full responsibility when it comes down to the infrastructure that we have here at the Department of Corrections. But I can just assure the public that we have a plan on our infrastructure, how we're going to take care of generators, because it is a concern. If there's an emergency situation happens and the Emergency Operation Center at Civil Defense is activated, one of the first things we will request, and then sometimes the go-to person is go-to organization is the Military Affairs, the National Guard, and even FEMA, who has standby generators, and for post-stop, just before the storm approaches, we'll request everything to ensure that the operations aren't disrupted with security in terms of having some generators delivered to Department of Corrections.
When it comes to funding, Bordallo says long-term solutions will require broader support.
I don't know whether you know this, but I was lobbying for the additional $5 billion because, and there was some issue about they said we had $15 million for a new prison. We didn't have $15 million in our account. So sometimes there'll be back and forth, differences about how much does the Department of Corrections have. But we definitely need a budget. Every director of corrections, to include I, when it comes down to trying to fight, and amplify the need for funding. There's a certain senator who one time said, well, maybe it's not a priority, but we're part of public safety. We're part of Homeland Security enterprise. The prison is a critical infrastructure, right? And if there's a major security breach, that's when all of a sudden we don't want the knee-jerk reaction. We want to prepare.
He adds federal assistance will be critical.
Those fundings be used, and it looks promising with our new prison task force for a new prison. We're definitely going to need a new detention facility, right? especially when you have 530 pretrial detainees, which include the women and which include the men. We're gonna, Guam's gonna need that sort of like, well, we have a prison plan. Is there a detention facility plan? Is there a plan to expand confinement, pretrial confinements, or depending not only on local funds, but from federal assistance too.
Asked what can realistically be addressed in the next 6 months.
One of the biggest things that can be really done within the next 6 months, and we're gonna see a lot of these things happening here, is the new prison task force. The scope of work has already been sent through to the Office of the Attorney General, so at least that will be on an issue that's going to be addressed quickly. And then, of course, the recruitment for detention facility guards is the real quick one, because the budget hearings are coming up, and I think senators have already gotten some information from me that I've shared with them about the feasibility of having a recruitment. Again, I set for annually for a training cycle, and it doesn't have to be specific only corrections officers, right? It only limits us, right? And I think that there's other projects that are that we have right now that's going to happen within the next 90 days. We've just had containers brought by Smith Bridge over here for and the Guam Trades Academy, Bert Johnson. They're going to be doing vocational classes, for some inmates here from the minimum out, minimum in. But that's definitely going to be something we're going to establish.
Bordallo also addressed staffing and community outreach following a recent peace wave, seeking an end to discrimination against citizens from the Federated States of Micronesia.
I have Sarah Medadog, our program director. She's looking at the possibility of a meeting with the consulate and the Micronesian community. We're going to have it at a community center. We'll let the media know, and we're reaching out on our reserve program, to reach out to FSM, because they always, the perception sometimes is that there's a lot of high rate of, and the Attorney General said the Chickies community, but I found a lot of Chickies also in the private security industry, right? They are good workers, right? There might potential for recruits for the corrections.
Bordallo says the impact of incarceration, particularly when it involves mothers, is something that stood out to him